All right, hey, this is a short tutorial on the 3.0 version of Boxcar. Um, just going to kind of be going over some stuff. So this is like a fresh install. You have your main Boxcar window down here with no content in it because we don't have any characters, so we just have the main window. And we have the keybinds pause window, which is a window that's there when the keybinds are paused. Now we're going to go into creating a character. We're just going to create a character. We'll call it Gravy. And we're not going to give a username and a password. That's for the auto launch feature. And I'm not going to be covering that in this video. But we'll press create. You'll see that the character is created and went defaulted to the main window. I personally, at this point, like to change some settings, but first, let's just create a secondary character. We'll call this one Mashed, and we'll create. And you can see now we have both our characters here, and we'll just go ahead and pop over to settings. And some of the stuff I like to change is like I personally like my base delay at 120. That works good on my computer. It could be different on your computer, and I also like to suppress the invalid character commands and warnings. If you're first getting into Boxcar, you might want to leave this out so that you kind of get errors when you have mistakes in your command syntax. But I personally just like it turned off. If you want to get rid of the keybind pause window, you can disable it here. And here you can change the process name. I'm going to be doing EverQuest in this one, so I'm going to keep it as EQ Game. But for the automatic like syncing, which is where if you just go here and click this sync button, it'll automatically list anything with that process name. Now, if for some reason that's not working for you for whatever game, you can click the search icon, and that's just going to bring up the search processes, and you can manually assign characters to processes or like window handles via this screen. Now, kind of going into this, going back to the settings here, one thing I like to kind of change for me is that I personally like my buttons a little taller, so I set it to 25 or maybe like 28. And I like to use the fixed button width, and then I change my fixed button width to something a little bit smaller, like that. And now not much changes here, but when I use when I edit buttons that have like custom titles, they'll kind of like text wrap and do what they need to do to fit. But otherwise that looks pretty good for right now. I actually like a little bit of a border too, so I'm going to set the border to 1 here, and I like a little bit more of a window margin so that I have something to kind of grab onto so I can move my window around. Now, that's far as the customizing the UI, that's all I really want to do right now. So the next thing I can kind of do is just get some games going. So for right now, we'll just start that up. So I'm going to do this on, let's see. I don't think I have a shortcut to that, but we'll just use the auto launch feature here. So I think on auto launch here, this is going to start EverQuest here. I'm going to be using like a emulated server, so I'm just gonna go and set this to where I have my emulated EQ game installed. We'll just go with that, and I'm just gonna, so this is the auto launch feature. I wasn't gonna cover this, but I am going to now. Here you can just put your path to the executable, which is just like, for me it's in my D drive, it's in a folder called WFH, and this is eqgame.exe. If you don't know, the executable args, this is like a string that will get passed when we execute this this binary. So if your binary supports that, you can put it here. This is gonna run path EQ game exe with the patch me and /login and then bracket username. This is gonna be basically replaced with the username for that character if I had provided one. And then down here, once that process is up and running and the window's there, it's gonna wait 5 seconds, type the password, wait 4 seconds, press enter, wait 15 seconds and press enter. So that's kind of what this is doing. I'm just gonna delete this part so that it just waits 5 seconds after that goes in, and I could probably delete this part too because I don't have any usernames, but that's just to make it easier. And now when I go to the game client section, I can just hit auto launch. That'll minimize Boxcar and should fire up instance of EverQuest. There we go. And it did exactly what we wanted to do. And we got a second one. So now you can see if I click on Gravy, I get that one. If I click on Mashed, I get that one. And whichever one I'm on is kind of highlighted in green. And I'm just going to log into these really quick. And so we got these up and running. And you're going to see how easy Boxcar is to get up and running. Like, that was basically it. Now, to get back to the main menu at any time, you can just click over here into your notifications tray area in Windows, and you'll see the little Boxcar icon. You can select it. You can go to show settings, and that'll bring this one up. Now you can see here we have 2 processes in our game clients now, and they're already mapped. That's because we use the auto launch feature. If for some reason you didn't do that and the game's already running, you would just simply come here and select your character in the drop down, and the little button to the right of it is the bring to foreground button. So if you're not sure which one's which, you can use this button to bring that process to the foreground. And if you were assigned to the wrong one, you could remap them right there, no problem. Alright, so I'm just going to minimize this, and we'll kind of get these guys in world. And we'll just go on to show you how quickly this thing gets set up. Now, just taking a minute to get in here. Okay, so you can see we have our 2 games in here, and we have the 2 characters. Now on this character, Gravy, I've set up key 1 as assist, key 2 is healed mashed, and 3 is follow, and 4 is sit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, I only really need the first 4 keybinds right now, just to make things simpler. I'm going to go to characters, I'm going to go to Gravy, I'm going to hit the edit button, which is this little pencil icon. I can see all my buttons here, and I can just disable a bunch of the buttons that I don't need, because I'm only really using the first 4 buttons. And the first button is my assist button, so I'm just going to title it assist. And I'm going to give it a color here, just like a green color, and I'm going to make the text white. And I'm just going to save. With character buttons, they come with a default command. And the default command on this button is to go to Gravy and press key 1. I'm going to save that. I'm going to keep that the way it is. Now, obviously my fixed button width isn't right, so I might come in here and just say go to interface and go down to my fixed button width and make it a little wider. That seems about right. And now we can kind of go, and I could even make my font 11 just to make it a little bit better. And then going back to characters, let's go to Gravy, and then key 2 here was to heal, so I can click this one and I can make this one heal mashed, and I can set the background color here to be some color we'll use for all our healing spells, and that looks great. Let's do that. Let's see, maybe I can edit this and give it a little bit of a different name so it fits a little better. There we go. And number 3 was to follow, so we'll just call this one follow. And this last one was sit, we'll just call it sit. So now I have those ones done. And you know, like maybe on this, for the most part, for mashed, maybe I don't even need much because I'm going to be driving with that character. So maybe on mashed, I'll just, you know, for the most part, just disable everything here. You know, and I might change that, but for right now, like, just for simplicity, we're going to go with this. So now I just have this little tiny window that I can just place places, like right here in the center. And, you know, I could swap to my characters right there. Let's go to mashed, and we'll just see. I'm going to invite this guy, swap over. And so now I got this guy in the group with me, and if I click follow here, he should be following me. You know, if I want to get a heal, he should be healing me. Simple stuff. Like this is why this thing's so great, is that it's just, it works so quickly. Like you don't have to do any crazy setup. It just like out of the box, barely have to do anything. Just keep the default 1 through, you know, equals keybinds, and you can get a ton of like utility out of this thing. Now, you know, obviously, you know, there's more things you could do. Like maybe I want sit right here. I want it to also make gravy sit, so, or I mean mashed sit. So it's like, what, I can also come back and say mashed, and then I could say key dot 4 also, because he also has sit on key 4. So if I say save here, and then now I click sit, everyone sits, right? Everyone can stand. And then, you know, maybe I also want to, you know, have something happen in 5 seconds, and I want it to say stand up. You know, I can do that, and we'll just try it. So it's like, okay, I click save here. And you can see I had a timer.
Stand up.
Yeah, so now it goes like that. So you get these kind of text to speech.
Stand up.
The other thing you can do too, if you want, is if you have a wave file, you can play it. So for example, what I'll show you really quickly here for this, is if we go to show settings, and we go to settings, you can see this open data folder. This is going to open the folder where all the data is kept, and you'll see here I have this cha-ching wave file, right? Okay, so I can play this file whenever my timer expires simply by coming back here and going to showing settings, and actually we don't even need to do that. No, I want to minimize this. We go here to edit on the button, and we just write in cha-ching, like that. The name of the file without the dot wave. it'll just play it. So you can use like your own custom sounds, or you can use the text to speech, which is built in. So basically, anything you type in there, if the file doesn't exist, it's gonna do like a text to speech, and then create that WAV file for you and keep it in your data folder. Otherwise, you can use whatever you want. So that's like another cool feature. Another thing you can do here is you can set a keybind. So in this example, maybe I'll say F, and I can click save. Now, one thing you can do to verify your keybinds are being tracked is you can go to active keybinds. Here it says F, so we know that's going to do that, and this is the command. So if I minimize it and I press F, you'll see everyone comes up, everyone sits down. So that's without me having to click anymore. Every time you do that too, it will restart your timer. So like the timer resets anytime a button is clicked, or in this case a keybind is set. But yeah, so those are kind of like, this is kind of like the basic stuff. I don't know, like with the new one, the keybind priority, this is if you have like multiple of these buttons bound to the same key, you could have them executed in a particular order. And so you could just set this next one to 1, then to 2, then to 3, and it'll kind of do its thing. I personally just find that kind of annoying, so I usually just make longer commands and just have buttons like that. But you know, we support it if someone wants to do it. Yeah, and then also, like, for instance, if you just want to have a keybind that switches your character, you can do the same thing over here on the character screen. You can set a keybind to say, for instance, you know, you set it to like, you know, I don't know what it might be. You might have like N is this keybind, or it might be like Shift plus F to just switch to gravy. You could do that. Category is another part of commands where if you want, you could say, you know, you could make this just be healer category. And what you can do here is you can just say all dot healer. That means everyone with the healer category is going to do key 4. And you know, we can kind of test that just by saving this and then coming out of here and then clicking this, and you'll see Gravy still stands up because he's marked as a healer. In the case where, say for instance, I wanted it just to be everybody, I could just do all like that, and you know, then everyone's gonna do the command. And so yeah, that's kind of the gist with that. There's this mouse position is in case you want to use some of the mouse commands. So if you go to the show settings and you click on wiki here, you can kind of in here see, like, this talks about everything about characters, the different properties on a character, and you know, some of those things. And then if you kind of come back here, you'll see there's commands is like a very useful one, where you can see all the different types of actions you can do. So it's like a command is made up of actions, and they use the pipe character to separate them. You have like character, delay, you have the key action, you have the mod action, which is basically how you could do like shift, alt, control, and a keystroke. So you can kind of see how those ones are built. And then there's like left mouse, right mouse. There's also just move mouse if you want to do something like that. You could do just mouse click, ton of different mouse ones. There's the type command, which will just let you type stuff. So you could do, you know, crazy, like if you want all your characters type, you have 6 characters, you want them to all say like some quest dialogue, you could do that. And then, you know, here, you know, you have the all command, which is what I was just explaining, where you have like categories, or you can just do everybody. This talks about like how milliseconds work for like delays or for hold durations, and how they can be like randomized. And then there's a bunch of deprecated actions, but these all still are backwards compatible from older versions of the app. So if you were using those, they're still good. I recommend sticking to the more modern stuff. Now, one thing we can do there is like we can show you some of the typing commands. Some people might find that interesting. So if you right-click on any character, you'll see this ad hoc command. If you click on that, you'll get this window. And so for here, I could do something like all, and then I could write, key dot enter, and then I could write type dot hello world exclamation mark, and then do key dot enter. Now if I run this, you'll see everyone typed hello world in there, and if you have like 5 or 6 characters, that can be useful. A little bit like cumbersome as far as having to type key dot enter or whatever, but I can't build everything for each game. Different games might have different criteria around entering stuff into the text chat. Maybe you have to like click instead of press enter. I don't know. But yeah, just a quick tutorial for all those people that are just getting the app now and kind of want to get an idea how to get started. Basically, this is how you do it. Start with just like 2 characters, get an idea of how you like it, customize things, play with the settings, and just work with the default commands. And then you can read through the wiki stuff. Some of it might be out of date, some of it might not be. You could join Discord, ask people, and you can basically get going, and then you can kind of build on getting more complex stuff, like where you have one button that you use that's just like you hit it when you have an incoming pull, and it slows the target, taunts on your tank, and sends all your pets in, and all the people start casting. So it's just like one button and kind of takes care of it all. Now, like, this isn't like IS Boxer or some of those other ones. There's not like there's no like broadcasting of keys to backgrounded processes and like that interspace stuff, or like there's no hooking to process like MacroQuest or anything like that. This is just simply managing the windows and sending out keystrokes. So it's like you do see your screen flash around because Boxcar doesn't know anything about EverQuest. It doesn't even care what app it's using. It's just a simple way of just keeping your windows organized as far as like the alt tabbing, and then also issuing keystrokes out, so you don't have to constantly remember, I need to alt tab to this one, and when I get to that one I need to press 5, and then I need to alt tab the other one and press 5. It's just like you could write a little quick script using like the Boxcar command language to just press one key and it do all of that for you. But yeah. Anyway, the latest version is 3.1, and I'm always patching it, fixing little bugs that people report on Discord. So if you're enjoying the app, feel free to donate. You can find a donation link in the Discord. All right, have a good night.